Where does the board stand? Is that something we wanna incorporate into this discussion down the road? I think we've already done a public hearing, we've done the introduction
I
of it.
don't think we need one myself. That's where I'm at. I think it costs the town a heck of a lot of money, legal, unlegal, and get into a regular bit of costly endeavors. We have the elected officials here to pretty much watch over each other, and we're elected to do so. If one person seems to be out of hand that week, I think the four others will go ahead and stick up to the plate.
Right, now this is some house cleaning items that we're looking to do, which is merely if we were to convene it, we would have an ordinance in place that in turn addresses where they reside. I get that, no, I get that, but I mean, I think what Chip had pointed out to us at that time in December, January was, you may want to in turn just put some basic parameters in place, and that's, if that's what we're looking to do, I would think that would be.
We were going a little bit deeper than that at one point. We were reporting people when we were already having.
Well, I said I was going to appoint a board,
Right.
and then it was stated, well, maybe we, before that's done, maybe the board should be appointed by the mayor and council.
I would like this to see us adopt what the town attorney put before us.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't.
Because that improves what we have right now, it doesn't mean we have to appoint one, it just improves the.
Right,
Right,
it
the
puts,
language-
it puts,
the language of it.
right, and it cleans up what is something that we need to clean up.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, do we want to in turn have that in the discussion as we go forward with all this legislation? We're gonna have our own little legislation day here in Rock Hall. All right, so I think I just heard from everybody on that one. We'll cross that bridge as we come up. Number 8.
Rocky Road.
Phew, we got a lot going on. Number 8 is general counsel, invoices. Susan, you were in the office, help me out with this thing. What are we hearing? That just warrants I think I'll follow it here.
Yeah, there was I was up here at the same time Bob was, and when he was signing checks, and we had come across the invoice for April for the billing, and on April, it was like 3 or 4 days before our meeting, and nobody had gotten a copy of the billing yet. And when we were making a copy of the billing, we were told that the billing was not allowed to leave the office. And we didn't quite understand why, since we're elected officials, and I think that we have a responsibility to look at the legal billing to make sure everything that's happening is.
So the billing is open to you anytime you want to look at it here, which you had it in your hands, I guess, when you're, at the same time you're talking about. I mean, it was stapled to the checks, the invoices and stuff, so you had a copy of it, and you, obviously, you're welcome to see
But
it.
for 3 years I've been here,
We're
we have
just
always,
hesitant to allow sensitive information to leave
we've
town
always
hall
got
to
a
be
copy of
distributed
it.
throughout
But
the
we've
town.
always got a copy of it.
Yeah,
Well, it's up to you all, I mean, it's the mayor and council's decision, this was just a decision that the staff made to keep control over those documents, that, you know, you as mayor and council are welcome to any bit of information that's in those rooms. All you
But we
gotta do is
shouldn't have to
ask
come up
for
here
it,
to
you
look
can
for
see
it.
it, you can keep it, I mean, you can come in here and look at it, you do whatever you want with it. We just think that sometimes, not all the time, sometimes there's sensitive information on our attorney bills and stuff, dealing with issues that shouldn't be public information. And
Well,
we-
I don't think it is public information. When I take it, I got it, and it's kept in one spot where I always keep it, and that's where it stays.
Well, it's up, like I said, it's
I
you
just don't
all's
think-
call. It was a decision the staff made, and I personally think it's a good call, but that's up to you all to decide.
Well, it's just a decision that was not brought before us, for us to even know about. I mean, we just, all of a
Right.
sudden, it's like, we come up here, to we don't have it 4 days before the meeting, it's not in our boxes, which is normally done, and then we come up and say, we're told we can't take it out.
I mean, I would have thought at the meeting, we would have just had some, it would have been offered to us, this is what staff is looking to do, is to not allow sensitive information, be the legal bills, to the legal.
Well, because
counsel.
they're sensitive to the fact that sometimes information goes out and it's released to other people other than you all, and then it comes back and they have to answer why, and so, I mean, you people are ones that have to say, you can turn whatever loose you want. We just feel like, for the security of the town, it's much easier for you all to come down here and you can see anything you want. But some of the sensitive stuff, we thought was better kept in the office.
But and that's, I mean, the attorney bills have always been distributed to us, and I just think when we go to sign, or I go to sign checks, it's just good to you know, and for all the members, I think I had said at one point, we wanna have the bills so that, you know, it applies to the general fund, utility fund. We kinda ran into that over the summer. We had some billing discrepancies that we had to clean up, and I think it's good that the board has an opportunity to review it, because I don't wanna, in turn, sign a check if there's an error there. I wanna make certain that we're all, you know, have that information. So, I mean, is that the opinion of the board, that the attorney bills no longer leave after all these years?
I personally don't need a copy in my mailbox, because I look at it through town staff anyway, so.
I'm gonna say, well, I don't need to waste of paper, I'm up
Well,
there all the
I'd like to
time
have a copy.
with
Yeah, I'd like to-
I mean, I'm not under, I said whether it should or shouldn't myself, I mean.
Well, I
Like
like
I said,
that.
you look at the invoice before you sign the check.
I look at it.
I'm
I look
kinda
at-
sensitive to material gets out of here, and it does hit the,
I look at
it does hit the media, you know, it does hit the public, and certain things do leave it off, and it's the public, it shouldn't be out there. I mean, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, when I get a bill, I mean, I wanna look at it maybe a couple times.
I'm not saying,
because the
Susan, not,
attorney
not,
bills
not
aren't
insinuating
something-
that it came from you at all, but if certain information leaves this building, and it's only a couple ways for it to get out. And
And some of
and
that
I
infor-
understand
right,
that.
and some of that information that leaves the building happens right after these meetings with the media too. Sometimes that happens. That's not
So,
some
well,
information.
I'm gonna tell you, I mean, I'm gonna go on record and say right now, I mean, I want the attorney bills,
Right.
period.
I'd like to know too.
And if somebody wants to make a motion that says we can't get them, then put it in play, because otherwise I want the bills.
I don't have a lot of time to come up here and stay up here. I've got a 24-hour business that I have to run, and a lot of times I don't have time to come up here and sit here for, you know, half hour, 45 minutes and go through the bills.
Well, obviously, maybe we should make this, bring this up again at the next meeting, because if there's two of you that want them and two of you that don't, then we're at a stalemate.
You guys gonna vote, so is that what I'm hearing, you're gonna vote?
No, I'm not
Making
voting
a
on it
motion
one way or
not
another
to?
tonight. I'm
Not
not,
to
I'm
let
not
us have it?
touching this until I go ahead. I haven't even talked about any, this is news to me, that you didn't get it, and
Well, did you get the bill before the last town meeting we had? We get a copy of the bill before every town meeting we have, the monthly bill.
the Pumpkin Bolton bill.
Yeah, you got a copy of April?
I'm not sure if I did.
No.
You did,
You did, neither did I.
because I asked Ryan, as recent
But you
as-
have access to it.
Yeah, but that's not the point, Bobby.
Okay, I'm just clarifying for everybody. I mean, it's not that anybody's keeping anything from you. You have access.
I know, but it's just, you know, we've gone, I know I've gone 14 years, we got these bills, and now we're not putting them out because.
But times are different now.
But it's been stated that it's sensitive information, which, it's the taxpayers, I mean, it's not real, it's their dollars. It's our job to be safeguarding their dollars.
And you're welcome to it.
I want the bills.
Okay, well, that's up to you to decide.
All right, well, I'll decide. I know where I
Well, it's
stand
up
on it.
to five of you to decide.
So we're gonna wait till we get a majority in here, and then we'll see how it plays out.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Before we adjourn, I'd just like to say that the town picnic, we will make a determination next week early whether we're gonna be able to have it at the Civic Center or move it to the firehouse.
Okay.
It's gonna be a secondary location in the engine bays because of the wetness.
Because we got a lot of rain
We've
coming.
got a lot of rain coming, I think we're gonna get some more rain.
And I have to deal with that also, because it'll be the first time that the Woodland Association and the town's tent is put together. And Ronnie, we're gonna look at the weather deal on this, because it'll be the first time out of the box. As Butch had stated, color-coded tape, something has to be done when it's put together the first time to connect the dots, makes it a lot easier with color tape and that kind of stuff, so whether they'll be on hand, I'll be on hand, Chucky and Jamie possibly from Woodland Association, so we all get kind of a gist on how this thing goes together for the first time, so. Ronnie, I guess we're gonna just look at a couple of days beforehand and look at the weather, because I think we are gonna need a day or an afternoon, you know, I think.
If we have, just for your information, we have that Lions Club has a circus down there this coming Friday, and if we're gonna look at those fields just prior to that circus and, date, if it's real wet, instead of them going out and tearing that field up, we'll have it set up on the blacktop like we did one other year when it was real wet.
How about Haven Court? We had discussed having Nyla go back there and do a test on the wiring to see if there's.
And I told him about it, but I haven't heard back from him. I'm not sure he's done it yet.
Okay, and then also the Reclamation Center, the cardboard seems to be a lot of,
I seen it there yesterday, it's piled up.
yeah.
I didn't give us 2 bids for that, because it seems to be, I mean, every time I go there, it seems after, and I don't know the dates for sure, but it gets piled up.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get us another cardboard bin.
Yeah.
But every time I close, it goes over there and I hear Tracy and, you know, everybody down there, and and I understand that completely, but.
And these, just before I forget, that gate's been fixed there.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah, I saw that. Very good.
And one of our instructional assistants that works at Rock Hall Elementary School was named Support Person of the Year for Kent County Public Schools, which is quite an accomplishment. So I think if we could bring her in at the next meeting, maybe,
I think we should have her.
invite her and congratulate her.
It'll be good to see her down there, Mr. Barnes.
Ms. Barb Hyder, yes.
Done.
So,
Just a quick thought.
You don't mind? I mean, we can bring her here too, Brian, but Barb always up for a good time. I get
Nice to go ahead and recognize her in
Yeah.
at a town
Town
meeting,
capacity.
at a town capacity,
Sorry.
recognize her and still invite her to the picnic.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick thought on our first cruise night that we had, it turned out pretty well, but the bathrooms weren't open at the villas, if maybe we could get that on next time around.
Is Dewey started his process of cleaning and opening those up, Ronnie?
I think they're being, I was under the impression they were being open. They were open Saturday morning when they had that wall.
Yeah, because a lot of people were walking down there that night, I even walked down there too, and they were locked up. Yeah, that was
Last weekend was.
the third Friday of April, yeah.
Yeah, last weekend was the 5K for Barron, but I know, I've heard a couple comments too that the bathrooms were locked up, so.
Yeah, I mean, it just may have been just first cruise night, nobody thought of it, but,
Sure.
It would be my assumption Raymond, they just looked his mom or the other.
Well, anytime that happens, or you call somebody, you slip right up there and open.
there was
Yeah, they do.
250 people at that run.
Was it really?
They raised over $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, and then, we're gonna go to good of the town in a minute, but I do wanna just, while there was a discussion on the
I
out-of-town
don't
rates,
see that.
I do wanna bring up at the next meeting, as we're coming into the budget time, we've got a lot of expenses that were incurred for the wastewater treatment plant and the clarifier. Yes, some of these things have been grant funded, but yet at the same time, we gotta know whether or not there's gonna be some sharing in of these expenses, A, through the county, and B, is it gonna be reflected in the, and I guess as I understand it, the mechanism as to how we get paid for them is the prior year's audit, and they just take the number of EDUs, and that's how they come up with that number. So I'm gonna look at that, because I think that number's it's falling a little short even as to, and I wanna get together on this look, but I think it's falling short as to what our in-town rate is from what we're receiving out of town, but also I wanna talk about the expenses that the county is, they've got a buy-in of our water and treatment plant and the water clarifier, because they are receiving these services. And we've hit a lot of these costs this year, pumps and just a whole lot of things, blowers, filters.
All of
We got
that.
a well working on right now.
All of the expenses that are accumulated at the sewer plant, they have to pay a certain percentage of that. So the more we spend, the more they have to pay, and it's a set percentage.
Well, but I thought that, when the 2003 agreement was struck, they moved that over to an EDU.
Well, it is an EDU, but if they have 40% of the EDUs in the system, they pay 40% of the maintenance costs.
As long as they are of an amount that is reflective of what the code book states. And that's where I think we need to look.
No, if they,
What they pay is based on what you spend in a year.
Whatever
And you
we
divide it by
spend.
EDUs, and that's a cost per EDU, and then they pay for however many EDUs they have.
We can visit that at the next meeting, because I think like with the water, we amended the code book to reflect a bulk user rate, and that's where I guess we'll get your legal
That
opinion on
justified an agreement between the town and the county,
But then in the community of Eadsville, we,
which is in the county.
Right.
There's no agreement with Eadsville, it's with the county
well,
government.
nonetheless, the water goes to Eadsville, but it's an agreement with the county government, and it was to in turn reduce the out-of-town rate down to a rate and a half. And we amended the code book to reflect that.
You don't tell the county what to charge. The county users. You're just selling them a bulk of service. What they charge their customers.
Well, whether it's the county or whether it's a individual account outside of the town, if there's a fee that's not consistent with the code book, isn't that something that should be?
All of the fees are consistent with what's in
Well, we'll look,
Your
that's what I'm saying, we'll
code-
cover that,
your
because I don't.
code- Well, since I drafted the contract that
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yep.
And I also drafted the ordinance that made sure such a contract was valid.
For what?
That allows you to deviate
For
from
the
your
sewer,
fees.
for the sewer,
Huh?
for the sewer?
Well, how is it you get your sewer charges?
Well, there's a contract, but
Based on
there's
water
no, there's
flow
no
through
amendment, there's no ordinance that was drafted. Now, with the water,
Okay.
there was an ordinance.
So you're getting at something very different than the business aspects of it.
No, I'm just comparing the two,
Okay.
of what has been codified and what hasn't been codified. And I'm also just ensuring that as we're outlaying a lot of money for the town's infrastructure, that we're all on the same, we're comparing apples to apples, not apples to oranges.
Well, I can assure you what.
Chip, and I'll give you a copy of what I drafted, so you can have a look at between now and the next town meeting.
Whatever we spend in the sewer, the county has to pay their share of it.
Okay, and like I say, this is just, I'm putting it out there so we can in turn discuss this at the upcoming meeting. If there's any other business, anything of the audience, if we can have an adjournment, motion to adjourn. We got a motion by Brian Jones, second by Susan, all in favor. Meeting adjourned at 10:15 p.m.